question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Now read the passage about groupthink. You will have 45 seconds to read the passage. Begin reading now.
Groupthink. One process by which group may make a bad or irrational decision is known as groupthink. Individual members of a group attempt to conform their opinion to what they believe to be the group consensus, even though the result may be negative. There are many reasons why groupthink happens. These include the desire to be linked, fear of losing a job, or even not wanting to be the one employee relying on a decision that seems inevitable. These kind of implicit pressures to conform lead group members to ultimately make decisions that each by himself or herself might normally not make.
I'll listen to part of a lecture on this topic in a business management class. So let me tell you about my own experience with this when I was working for a computer company a couple of years ago. So one day a coworker and I suggested we should give our computers a design makeover, make them look more up to date. Market research was showing that new customers said they would be more interested in buying our computers if they looked cooler. Our technology was advanced, but the outside design looked really old-fashioned. At first, more than half the group supported us. There were a few senior managers there, though, who didn't support the design change. One of the senior managers said, "Our focus has always been on technology. Changing the look is an unnecessary cost." Almost immediately, some of our supporters changed their minds. Even my coworker changed his mind. When I asked him why after the meeting, he told me he didn't want to make a bad impression on the senior managers. He thought that disagreeing with them might jeopardize his chances of getting a promotion by not looking like a team player. What about me? I hate to admit it, but after a few hours of discussion, I started wondering if it was worth everyone's time to argue about this. As more people sided with senior management, I started to feel like I was the only one holding up the vote. Everyone else seemed to think change wasn't necessary, so I voted against my own idea in the end. So we unanimously decided to stay with the current old-looking design. But this decision ended up costing us a lot of money. That same year, our competitor came out with a new design that attracted some of our customers and prevented us from profiting on potential new customers. Explain groupthink and its effects using the example of the computer company.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
In this set of materials, the reading passage describes groupthink, and in the listening passage, the professor explains that by giving his own experience. When he worked in computer company, he and his co-worker suggested that they should concentrate on design of computer, and many other co-workers agreed with the idea. But because of the opinion that senior co-worker made, changed the situation. Many co-workers did not counter the opinion of
Number
senior
5.
co-worker. Oh, fuck.
In this question, you will listen to a conversation. You will then be asked to talk about the information in the conversation and to give your opinion about the ideas presented. After you hear the question, you will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Now listen to a conversation between two students. Hey, Mary, how's your volunteer work going? You still involved in that after-school program with the elementary school kids?
Yeah, but I've got a problem. I'm supposed to be driving a bunch of them to the zoo tomorrow,
Yeah.
and I was supposed to rent a van for the trip. But I waited too long to call the rental agency to reserve one, and now it turns out they don't have any vans available for tomorrow. I don't know what to do. These kids will be really disappointed if their trip gets canceled.
Well, doesn't one of your friends here on campus have a car? I mean, couldn't you borrow it for the day?
Yeah, probably, but I'd need to borrow 2 cars, or there wouldn't be enough space for all the kids. That's why I was going to rent the van, and then I'd need to find somebody else to drive, too. I can't drive 2 cars by myself.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm sure you can probably find a volunteer. Or if you wanted to save yourself the trouble of hunting down a second driver, well, what about public transportation? Check the bus schedule. I think there's a bus line that goes right past the zoo.
Yeah, that's a possibility, but I don't know. It might be a real challenge supervising the kids on the bus. Sometimes they're a handful when they get excited. It's an option, though.
The speakers discuss 2 possible solutions to the woman's problem. Briefly summarize the problem, then state which solution you recommend and explain why.
Please prepare your answer after the beep. Please begin speaking after the beep.
In this listening process, the woman has a problem, and the problem is that she must go to zoo with elementary school kids, although she could not resolve the problem. The mom suggests 2 solutions. The first one is to borrow car, and the second one is to use bus. I think the latter is helpful for her. The reason is that it is too difficult for her to borrow 2 cars for every student, and in addition to this, she needs 2 drivers because she cannot drive the car. Based on this reason, I think it is a good way to use bus, although it will be also difficult to
Number
manage
6.
kids.
In this question, you will listen to a short lecture. You will